Have you ever thought about what you might do if you lost your home to a peril? Today, my good friend and client, Sherry Cannell, is going to share with us her experience after fire destroyed her home. So, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you, and I'm going to ask you to just tell us a little bit about yourself and your house before the fire.
Okay, so I was in my home for about 35 years. I raised my kids there, and it was our family home for many, many years. Of course, all my kids have left the nest, and it was just me and my husband there, and we were enjoying a little bit of empty nesting, and unfortunately, we got hit with this terrible house fire that destroyed our home.
Can you walk through what happened the day of the fire?
So the day of the fire, we had a shed that was placed probably within 3 feet of a deck. And so my husband backed a riding mower into the shed, and there was a lithium battery in there that apparently got ignited from the heat from the mower, which then caught fire to the shed. And there's obviously flammable and explosive type things in sheds like propane and things like that. Things started to explode. It hit the deck, and the deck took the fire, and then it just took the house. Unfortunately, it did take the firefighters about 30 minutes to get there because there was 4 other house fires in Anne Arundel County that night. So the fire department that responded to us first was Odington, and we're in Millersville, so that was a little bit of a hike for us. So it took about 30 minutes, and we basically sat in the street and watched our house burn.
So what was running through your mind at that time?
You know, you have so many things running through your mind, but I think the first thing that really runs through your mind is, oh my gosh, I'm losing all my valuables, and not like your jewelry and your furs type thing. It's your kids' pictures for school. It's your wedding album. It's your special jewelry that you got from your mom. It's that kind of stuff that you think of. It's not what you think when you're saying, oh, I'm losing, oh, my precious fur coat in there. You don't care. You just care about the things that mean something. That's what was in my head
that was irreplaceable.
That was irreplaceable. The memories are irreplaceable.
So what were the first steps you took after the fire?
Well, let me explain. At the fire, what happens is there are people that come to your home when the fire is being extinguished to kind of solicit you to get your business, basically. So, hey, I can wrap your house. Hey, I can save your stuff. Hey, I can do this. So they're asking you to sign a bunch of stuff. So the first thing I want to say is don't sign anything. Take a step back and try to think about what you're signing. Some things we had to sign. For example, we had to have the house secured. So there was somebody there that night that would secure the house. So we did sign with that person. A lot of people, I thought those people were coming in from my insurance company, but they weren't. They listen to scanners, and they come to the place where the fire is. And so we had people trying to get us to do this. So we did sign with one person. Another cleaner came to us and said, we can go inside and get your stuff, and we can try to clean it for you. And I said, well, when your head clears a little bit, if you can say that happens, I said, okay, take this stuff in this area. Well, they took everything. And they tried, then they try to bill you for all this. So you have to be very careful on not signing stuff and taking a step back, even though that's so hard to do in an emotional time, to be sure that you're protecting yourself. Because all this stuff is going to be charged to your insurance company or you, and if your insurance does not cover it, you're getting charged for it.
So tell us about the process of rebuilding your home. What was that like?
The process was very interesting because, first of all, I will say I had a small mortgage on that property. So the mortgage company, you have to call right away to let them know that what they're leaning on is now gone. And you have to speak with them. You call the insurance company. Now, I was very lucky to have my son as my agent. So my son was right there on the night of the fire, taking care of a lot of things that I couldn't take care of at the time. So I had a trustworthy person that was on my side. So you have to contact the insurance company, and you have to open up a claim. And then what you have to do is basically go through the process of figuring out what your house was, like what you had inside your house, like an inventory of what's inside your house, an inventory of what was outside your house. And you have to start the process of working with the insurance company to figure out how you're going to fix all that. So first you open the claim, you have to find housing. We had no housing. I was lucky to have my sister, and I went to my sister's house. Red Cross showed up. They gave us a $500 or $600 check so we could go to a hotel. But we also didn't have anything to wear but the clothes on our backs. We had no toothbrush, no underwear, no nothing. So you have to realize you're standing in the street with nowhere to go. So the first thing you have to do is find some place to go, which we were so lucky to have my wonderful sister that took us in, which is where we stayed for a month. And then after that, you have to work with the insurance company if you want to go somewhere else, is where you're going to go. And you work directly with them to find a place to live. So that's really your first priority, is finding a place to live. And then from there on, you then begin to start the process of building the house.
Okay. Were there any unexpected challenges when it came to?
Yes, tons of unexpected challenges. But I will say, it's for everybody that's listening to this, look at your policies and make sure your policies are covering what you think they're covering. You have to have a policy that will cover the amount it's going to take to rebuild your house. Think about putting on an upgraded code policy, because when you're building now, our house was 30 some or 50 years old. We're building now, we have to meet code. Well, that costs a lot of money to meet code. So now all of a sudden, whatever electric was left had to be yanked out, whatever plumbing was left had to be yanked out, so to be replaced with new stuff. And if you don't have enough insurance to cover that, that will be charged back to you and you're going to have bills. So please check your policies to make sure your policies are fully covering the amount it is going to take to not only build your home, but to have a policy that covers all those excessive codes that we have in the wonderful counties that we live in.
Okay. So how was your experience with the insurance company?
It was a very stressful experience, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the insurance company wants to give you a figure of what they think you should get to build your house. It's nowhere near what you should get to build your house. So you then need to fight for the rest of it. So we hired a public adjuster. There's pros and cons to that. The pro of that is that the public adjuster knows all about the insurance policies and what they mean and what they say. Because believe me, you have them, you don't know what they mean and what they say. The bad part about that is they will only go through the adjuster at that point. So you can't talk to anybody at the insurance company, and you're paying this adjuster a really large amount of money to do this for you. And that's coming out of your insurance money to build your home. So this is something people don't understand. Yes, they're fighting. Let's say they get an additional $100,000. Well, they get paid a percentage of the total amount you get. So if you get $300,000, they're getting $30,000 or $40,000 of that money, which doesn't go towards the rebuild of your house. So these are the things people don't understand, which is integrated inside of your policies or integrated inside of preparing to build your home back up. That was a huge challenge for us.
How did you cope with the emotional aspect of the fire?
Well, I still haven't coped with it completely. You're kind of in a daze in the beginning because you're just stunned. You're just sitting there trying to figure out where you're going to go. But I will tell you, I got through, it was 16 months for us to rebuild our home, 16 months. I got through that as best I could because I was focused on getting the house built. Now that we're back in our home, it's hitting me more because all that stress now, I'm like, I almost don't have anything to do in a sense. I have to unpack, but it really does hit you that, oh my gosh, look what I went through. And it's emotional. And you find yourself getting emotional at times. So it's a tough road. And I will recommend to anybody that doesn't have a good support system to find one. Whether that be going to talk to somebody about it, because it is traumatic, watching your house burn, having people come at you, dealing with the insurance company. You have to buy all new furniture and do you have enough money for that? So it's a tough road.
Very stressful.
Very stressful.
What advice would you give to others who might go through something similar?
My advice is to make sure your policies are covering everything you think they're covering. Because believe me, you'll find out that it wasn't what you thought it was. And everything that touches that house comes out of that policy, no matter what it is. Like the $30,000 to wrap the house that night. Now that comes off my rebuild money. So that's the biggest thing. Take an inventory of your house. I know that sounds silly, but go through your house and take an inventory. If you have a camera, if you can take pictures, your phone, take an inventory, get a folder, put it in a fireproof box, and hold on to that. Because at the end of the day, when your roof is falling in, your insulation's everywhere, there's water this thick in your lower level, your stuff is destroyed, stuff is falling on stuff, you don't know what you had. You have no idea what you had this way, and you're going to have to give that information to the insurance company in order for them to pay you so you can replace all that stuff. So an inventory is key, and I can't stress that enough. Take a video on your phone, take pictures on your phone, and store it in the cloud so that if your phone gets caught in the fire, you still have the pictures.
Heavens forbid.
It is really, and it happened. Ours did. I mean, my husband's was in the house, so it is a tough road, but these are things they're a must. And now what will we do now? We have that. Also, make sure that you have at least, depending on the size of your house, we have 4 fire extinguishers now. We have one in every corner of the house, both levels of the house, because we didn't have one. And that was the problem. But also with lithium batteries, they're very hot, and even if we had one, it probably wouldn't matter. But please be sure you have the fire safety, your smoke alarms, make sure your batteries are in them, make sure that you have the fire extinguishers. Whatever it takes to hopefully put out the fire, I would recommend you have that now. Because we did not, and if we did, I don't know, it still would have went, but we may have been able to do some less damage with that.
Well, do you have any final parting words for our audience today?
Again, just have the inventory, check your policies, and make sure that everything is covered the way you think it's covered, and do not take what the insurance company says as the gospel, because they're going to try to give you what they only want to give you, and you have to stand by, hey, my house was more valuable, this is what I had in it, and fight. Kitchen cabinets is a prime example. You know, you have upgrade, they want to give you basic, that kind of stuff. And I could go on and on for hours about this. I'm actually thinking about writing a book about this, to be honest with you, because I really think it would be helpful. But really check your policies, check your inventory list, put it somewhere where you won't have a problem if it burns, a fireproof box, because in the long run, that's what's going to protect you the most.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story today with
Thank
us,
you.
Sherry. And your journey is an inspiration
Oh,
to many
thank you.
facing similar challenges. You heard it here. If you have any questions, if you need a good insurance agent, please, I can help. Give me a call at 443-274-1788. Please share this with your friends, and thanks for jumping with Julie.